Hi everybody, it's Cathryn. My project today is a square box that measures 4 by 4 by 1 and it opens just like this. You can put all sorts of little trinkets and goodies in there, or a gift card if you want to give it as a present. I'd like to ask, please subscribe and hit the like button. I'd appreciate that. My project today is using the Beautiful Balloons bundle, which is from the new annual catalog. I used the medium-sized balloon and the tassel, and I used 5 different of the DSPs from the Bright and Beautiful Designer Series Paper, along with the Stylish Shapes dies for the circle there. Okay, so what we need for this project is a piece of Lemon Lolly cardstock that is 11 by 7, some basic white for stamping. We need a piece of Boho Blue cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, along with a piece of the Bright and Beautiful, the Stars, that is also 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. We need a circle from the Stylish Shapes dies out of Bubble Bath, and it is about 2 1/8. So if you have anything close to that. All right, and then I'm using 4 more different pieces of the Bright and Beautiful cardstock DSP, and they are all 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So I'm using the large dots, the small dots, these hash mark kind of ones, and the yellow stripes. All right, so they're all 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. All right, let me get my Simply Scored. And we're going to start on the 11-inch side. And we're going to score at 1, 5, 6, and 10. Turn it to the 7-inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 1 1/2, 5 1/2, and 6 1/2. All right. And now I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Okay, now I have my the outside of my box showing, so everything will close this way. I know some demonstrators cut with this side up, but I do it with the outside of the box on the top. And I have here the skinniest rectangles are on the top and the bottom, and you could use it either way, it's the same. So this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, all right, so we're going to start over on the left. We're going to go to the second score line, cut it to the second score line, and then get rid of all of this. So there's 4 pieces. Okay. All right, then we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the rectangle on the bottom, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to turn it to the other side, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, take off the bottom rectangle, and wedge each side of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, next score line, cut it to the second score line. We're going to take off this rectangle on the bottom and wedge each side of the square. Now we're going to get rid of these 4 pieces. There's 3 rectangles and a square. We're going to cut right off the bottom side here. Okay, and the only thing we're going to round is this 1-inch piece over here, because this is going to fit inside the bottom. I'll show you one sec. That is this flap right here that goes inside. Okay, so this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring, cutting, and rounding these two corners. All right, now we're going to start over here on this end, and I'm going to put some glue on these two tabs, and we're going to take the score line on the tab and make it straight with this inner bigger rectangle here on the side, on both of the sides. All right, and then I'm going to go to the other two tabs, and we're going to connect it to the other side of the same rectangle. All right, and then I'm just going to take a small circle punch. You could do this before you put it together too. And I'm just going to cut a little finger hole so that when I close it here, it's easier to grab and open. All right, so let's put some of our DSP on. We're going to start with our Boho Blue cardstock that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and we're going to put that right on the top of the box. Okay, and then we're going to take our star piece of DSP that is also 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, and this is the Bright and Beautiful DSP. It's 6 by 6. All right, and we're just going to put that right inside the flap to give it a little bit of color on the inside. Now we're going to put our 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Now you don't have to use these patterns. You could pick whatever ones you want or whatever DSP you want. So first I'm going to put this, and I believe it is, let's see, it's a little bit more than a 1/16 from each corner. You could place them first all on here, and then you'll get an idea, because there's about the same distance between each of them and the sides. All right, so I would just map it out first so you know, but it's like a little more than a 1/16, not quite an 1/8 of an inch around. Okay, now I'll put the stripes. And then the dots here. And that's all set. All right, now we're going to let that dry, and we'll do some stamping. Okay, first I'm going to use this Let's Get Our Celebration on, but what I had to do was just bend it to fit, which isn't hard with this photopolymer stamp. All right, I just tested it out on my block and moved it until I got it to go right around the edge of the circle, and I used Boho Blue Ink. Great. All right, and then we need some basic white, and we're going to do the medium circle right there. Okay, and it gets a lot lighter when it dries. Alrighty. Okay, and then we need bubble bath ink for the tassel. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to use the Beautiful Balloons dies, this one for the tassel and this one here for the balloon. And I'll be right back. Okay, and there is our die cuts. Okay, on this one I put the tassel underneath the balloon, but I think I'm going to put it right on top, right there this time. All right, so I'm just going to use my silicone mat in case I get it all over the place. All right, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue right on that top of the tassel. And I'm just going to put it right about right here. And make sure it's straight. There we go. We'll just let that dry a little bit. Oops. There we go. All right, now it's dried a little while, and I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to use dimensionals and mini dimensionals. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put regular dimensional right here, and then 2 on the balloon on the top. All right, and then we're going to just put this onto our circle that we stamped, and I'm just going to nestle the balloon inside the words. So I'm just going to get the words straight, and then I'm just going to put my balloon in there. All right, now I'm going to flip it over, and we need 2 mini dimensionals on top of each other, because when we put it on here, this hangs off and there's 2 sets of dimensionals. So we need, oops, 1 and then another one on top of it, and that will, I think I'm going to do 2 sets. This one, take the top off just to keep it nice and sturdy, and then that, and I'll take the papers off, and then I'm going to put regular size dimensionals on the big circle. Alright, now I'll bring in my box, and I'm going to set the circle right in between, right in the middle of all 4 sections, just like that. Alright, now for the final touch, I'm going to use some of the solid gems in Lemon Lolly. Okay, I'm going to put a large one up there, a small one down over here, and then a medium one lower right there, and then I'm going to put a large one here and a medium one up over there. All right, and that's it. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with the links to my blog and to my shop. Please use this host code if you're going to spend anything under $150, not including tax and shipping. And please subscribe and hit the like button. Have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I'm not sure I'm going to have one on Monday, so have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.